Steve, just initial reactions following that?
Yeah, again, it was a great game for us to learn about ourselves, and 6 tries to 1. You've got to be happy with that. We had moments where we really had to battle and think our way through some stuff that didn't come easy for us, but go in at half time down and come back out and win the game, pretty happy.
Just on
John, sorry. Nige, up the front. No,
Steve, are you concerned that some of the errors that have been made over the first few tests are starting to become habitual?
Yeah, obviously. You don't want the errors to keep growing, but at the same time, we've come off a great year last year, and we've come into this year, and it's not flowing as easy for us, and we're having to work at it, and it's probably what we need. And teams are putting a lot more pressure on us with line speed, and how we're dealing with that at times hasn't been that great. We're trying to play this brand of rugby that everyone wants us to play, but sometimes that's going to force errors, and we've just got to get better at it.
back to John, yep.
Just on Vaifafita, you talked him up sort of during the week. Did he deliver everything that you wanted him to?
Well, you saw him play. What did you think?
It's pretty good.
Oh, well, there you go. Answer your own question.
Is he the next big superstar in this team then?
I don't know about that, but he's a young, we talked about him the other day and we said he's a good athlete, and we saw that a good athlete tonight. Like, I don't think he's a finished product. He's got a long way to go before he does that, but it's a tank that's got plenty in it, and our job now is to bring that out, and his job is to work on his game and get better and better and better and reach his potential. But it's a starting point, and he showed us a little bit of that tonight.
Ross, down the back.
Steve, sorry, back here. Argentina did pretty well at the breakdown. What was going on there?
Oh, we went to ground too early and we didn't get the right people into clean, and the referee let them have a shot at it, and he felt that the ball was out a number of times and we probably didn't, so we have to adjust and adapt to the referee, and we didn't do that.
Liam, in the middle.
Steve, can you just assess the back three and the ability to defuse the high ball?
Pretty good. I mean, when the ball's wet like it is, you're going to have the odd one that's missed, but by and large I thought they were pretty good.
The decision to... the running Vaifafita down that left flank there, was that a pre-planned move, or was that something that was an in-game adjustment?
No, it's something that it's one of the structures we've got, and he was where he's meant to be, so he was able to use the athletic abilities that he's got. But I don't think it was pre-planned that he would run that far or that quick, but there you go. Pretty good to watch.
Liam, in the middle again. Thank you, Liam.
Just Joe Moody, do you know what the situation is with him?
He's dislocated his shoulder and he's off to the hospital to get an x-ray, and it looks like he'll have to have an operation, so it'll be the end of him for the year, I'd say.
John?
Steve, obviously for the first 60 minutes it was very tight, sort of goal kicking was the difference. Is Bowden's goal kicking a concern for you, just with how much he struggled earlier tonight? Well, a week ago you would have said no. So when he decides to have an off night, he has an off night, and that's just something that we've got to work our way through. And is it any more of a concern than it has been? No.
Nige.
Ian, as someone who helps Bowden with the goal kicking, what needs to be done to eradicate these nights? I mean, he was perfect in Dunedin. He's had some tough kicks, but kicks I guess you would expect an international player to make at least 2 out of 3 of them. How do you get that consistency into his technique and his striking?
Oh, it's just time. He's he's really clear about how he kicks and what he works on. And if you look at the 2 Bledisloe Cup games, he kicked really well. His percentages are high, but like Steve said, there's just been a bit of a pattern that when there's an off night, there's an off night. So, his first 3 kicks were from conversions and tries, 5 metres from a sideline, so they're not easy kicks. And again, he'll know what went wrong, but it's just time in the saddle, and it's something he's working hard on. He is actually producing really good results for that, but again, tonight was one of those nights that didn't quite work for him early.
And like I didn't hear too many people talking about his goal kicking last week when we won it, or 2 weeks ago when we won the Test match. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. Either talk him up when he kicks them and talk him down when he misses them, but you can't have one bite of the cake. You've got to have 2 bites.
Question for Rito, or are we done? Oh, Nigel.
Oh, thank you.
Kieran, what do you say to your team when they go a man down, because they seem to react exceedingly well?
I think, you know, losing our first 5 is actually quite strange, and you know, it did put a little bit of pressure on us on how we wanted to attack. But what it didn't mean was that we could still fill the field. We wanted to attack. It was probably that time of the game where if we can just up the tempo a little bit, you know, we saw the results of what happened from that. So didn't really change too much of our mindset. Boys just had to work a bit harder and still try and attack as much as we can.
Done or done? Oh, last question, John, and then we're wrapping up.
It's just Kieran again. I just wanted to know where you sort of saw the turning point. Obviously, there was a bit of frustration early just with how Argentina were getting on top. So where do you think the game turned?
Oh, look, I think Argentina played really well in the conditions that was there. You know, scoring 6 tries to 1 was, you know, we felt good when we had the ball and we were able to build pressure. I think that's the key for us, is we don't get overexcited and try and keep pushing that pass or not executing when we need to. So, you know, it came down to us really as soon as we wanted to respect the ball and look after it, win the breakdown. You know, it came a bit easier, and so that's where we've got to really work hard and try not just wait for that to happen. Let's try and make it happen from the start.